Welcome back to the Timbo Sugar Show, our weekly MMA podcast with me, Sugar Sean, and my coach, Timbo.
No, but welcome back to the Fighter Fan Podcast. We are finally back here after a good little chunk of time here that we've been doing other things, focusing on the thing that we call life and stuff like that. But
Getting that bread.
Yeah, getting out there.
A little ASMR for you.
Yeah, sponsored by High Noon. Getting work done, just staying on top of the stuff that we got to do. But yeah, I had actually. Let me turn myself down here. That's pretty loud.
I got the typical douchebag glasses right now, dude.
The clout glasses from was it 2016 or something like that?
Sugar can rock them though.
Yeah,
Dylan Dennis. I don't know.
Goober.
I don't know if he can rock. I don't know. He rocked them on Piers Morgan. Didn't he wear these ones?
Yeah, he did.
Ones like this. These are like fucking straight up designer too, dude. I dropped like 2 bands on the shit.
Bro, was the biggest flexer on the internet.
It wasn't $3 on Amazon. It wasn't. I swear.
Bro, it was a little tape revived.
I swear it was not $3 on Amazon. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, no. Like I said, we've been both doing stuff work-wise and whatever else it is. So we've just been kind of busy trying to figure out more stuff with how we want to tackle the sports page and how we want to handle, obviously, the main page. So what I have here, I have some stuff written down that I've been kind of accumulating over the past few weeks here or whatever, few days of last week, I should say. But yeah, the one is more of an evergreen. More of an evergreen one here, and it's how quick access media has ruined popular media, like bigger forms of media or whatever it is that we intake. And I can't say that that is I can't say I've heard a more true statement in a while, because content now, obviously, and this is not to knock anybody on TikTok. We, obviously we've talked to a few creators. We use the platform for whatever.
You might hear this on a TikTok clip, or you might be listening to this right now.
Yeah. We've talked to people on TikTok about it, and people, we've mentioned it before. You made the very good comparison to TikTok being like a TV episode or like something quick. And
I think what I said before was that TikTok's like a fast food restaurant and YouTube's like a sit down restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you're gonna get better food at your sit down restaurant. You got to put a little more time in for that shit.
Yeah.
Though. The convenience of being able to go to McDonald's and fucking Dunkin' Donuts.
It's quick, but
yeah, it's nice. But
if
you the same way that if you're doing that every single day and that's all you're eating, it's bad for your body. If you're consuming quick media every single day that's like nonstop, getting that little dopamine rush,
scroll for 3 hours straight,
then all of a sudden you find yourself not being able to sit through a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, which realistically a 2-hour movie is really not something that should be a struggle to have to sit through.
And now it's gotten to the point where we have a word for it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is brain rot.
Yeah, brain rot. Or as you would like to call it, pot brain.
Pop brain is when you're forgetting shit, dude. Pop brain's I just told you this story 2 days ago. You just laughed at the joke like it was the first time you heard it. I told you this joke yesterday, like shit like that.
Yeah. I also think, relating directly to that, streaming services have, like we said, we mentioned movies already. Streaming services have overall, as a whole, they're great. Don't get it twisted. But as far as their effect that they've had on popular media has been really bad. Like movies, like we've seen, like the last few Marvel movies have been absolute duds as far as what the box office shows and everything, because people just don't care to, like, there's no exclusivity to like going to a theater. Because like before, the movie theater was like, you go and it's like, all right, we gotta go because it's only there for now. Now it's
there's a commitment to paying for a movie and sitting down and having to watch the whole thing. Where it's like, it's nice to be able to watch like whatever you want, whenever you want. It's very convenient. Yeah. But, it's also very easy to like pop on a movie and then turn it off. And then you never know what happened in that movie,
Yeah, I just think that I've noticed, and I watched a podcast. I don't remember who it was, but it was these two it was like writers. Like these were writers from Hollywood or whatever, location they were at, right? Parts of the Writers Guild, and even actors were talking about this. like movies, like big movies, like these huge films that are like, supposed to be these, something we've never seen before, innovative pieces of work, these fascinating places where people, these worlds that are supposed to suck you in to their, kind of whatever image they have and, make you experience that. They don't have that as much anymore because they said, like, some of these writers are just lazy now. They know nobody's going to go to the movie theater to watch it. So what's the point of putting all my work into it if nobody's going to watch it anyway?
Yeah. And there's like, and on top of that, there's like a complacency from like, studios like Marvel where it's like, the content that's coming out with movies right now, especially with the strike, is like so diluted that they can just put out anything and it's gonna fucking, even if it bombs for their standards, a lot of the time they're gonna make money off of it. And like I feel like it's been like the movies have almost been like monopolized, where even like the shittier Marvel movies, everyone knows when they're coming out because they have this big conglomerate behind them that's pushing all these ads out. They have like
out. 40 Instagram accounts because they got one. Not only do they have the main Marvel account, they got the Marvel Studios account, whatever the name of the movie is account, whatever the name of the character is account, the actors, the writers, the directors, all these people are all at one time posting about these films. Not to mention then you got the ads that run for them. And that's just outside of the actual people involved in the movie posting about it. And it's just, I don't know. People will always know when these major studios like Marvel, for example, or Disney or whatever, are putting out movies. Like there was a movie that came out. I don't even know when it came out, but I'm sure you've seen a billboard for it or like an ad, like one of those little, like, the bus stop ads.
Yeah.
That Wish movie. I didn't even know that was a thing until I saw a billboard for it randomly on the street. I was
and
like,
even if you like look at the art style of it compared to like old Disney movies, it's just like, or old Pixar movies, it's like the fall from grace, man. Like, and just the pushing out content. Like,
they're almost like soulless movies. Like there's no like character behind. Like, okay, and again, some people might take this wrong. But I don't mean like there's no characters in the movie. I mean the movie does not have, like when you think of what is it, like Lion King or Toy Story, you think what that movie brings with it. Who, like, what character you might think of first. Everybody obviously has a different one that they prefer to think of first, like, just preference. But the movies like that, what they come with. It's not, now it's like Wish, I have no idea what the hell what was the point of it? Like, I don't know anything about the movie. Like, there's movies and shit that I've seen that just went through the theaters and I didn't even know they came out. There was, I saw the other day they're making Kung Fu Panda 4. I don't know when that came to be, but a lot of times it seems like there's just reboots and trying to cash grab shit really quick a lot of times. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like part of the problem too, like, there is part of it that's on the consumer too.
Yeah.
Because like, not a lot of people aren't willing to give like this solo movie that has unknown actors like a chance. No one wants to give that movie a chance.
Which is unfortunate.
Tom Cruise, we want to see fucking
The Rock, Vin Diesel,
like all great actors, all very
don't
talented.
Get it twisted.
But they had their big breaks. They had their classic movies that they were unknown at one point, and they became what they are.
Which is why,
and I feel like we, as consumers, we need to give more of a chance to these upcomers.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole space of movies and TV is so focused on these big names now and these big franchises that, like, at one point Toy Story didn't exist.
Toy Story almost got scrapped.
There was a Toy Story 1. There was a Kung Fu Panda 1.
Yeah.
That we all came to know and love and became those classics. And as much as it's nice to, go on nostalgia and see these like new versions of these old movies, we also got to give a chance for other movies that we can look back on 10, 15 years from now and be like, that's a fucking classic. That's a Toy Story level movie. That's a, Kung Fu Panda level franchise.
Yeah.
And it's just no one wants to see new characters. And I'm fucking guilty of this too. Like Star Wars, some of their shit, like, I'm so happy to see old characters come back in Star Wars that it kind of takes away from some of the subpar stories that they've written.
Yeah.
Where it's like, the story was kind of shit, but because, old character came back, it was cool.
Yeah,
like,
going on with what you said about like new actors. I've noticed this recently. A lot of the streaming service TV shows have been using a lot of actors that nobody really knew before. Like the most recent one was my girl put me on to watching this show because she had mentioned it. And she's like, "Oh, I want to watch it with you." It's this show called The Summer I Turned Pretty or something like that. It's like some next teen drama, like some shit, and I guess like
fuck that show.
Well, have you seen it? Have you actually seen
Unfortunately, not by my choice, but I have seen it.
A fair share of the actors in that show were like either they had like maybe one or two smaller roles or they hadn't had any big roles at all. The main character, the girl, hadn't done anything like big before that. And then I personally have not watched this other show, but the Miss Marvel show that they made for the Disney platform. The main character, I think her name's Iman Vellani or something like that. No roles at all, nothing. It was her first audition, and she ended up getting it. So it's cool to see stuff like that where they're giving these new people a role because a lot of the Marvel characters, you really do think about it. They weren't like obviously Mark Ruffalo and these other like Chris Evans. They had roles before, but they weren't like household names like they are now because of Marvel. So it's not to say that they weren't nobodies before, but they took a shot on people who we really didn't like. I didn't know Robert Downey Jr. before. Yeah, Iron Man. Yeah, exactly. I don't know who the fuck he was. First of all, he was a fucking convict before that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, like these new shows, a lot of shows we're seeing, giving opportunities, but people aren't watching them, which sucks. It's like, dude, these people are, putting their effort and their, time into it. At least give it a chance. See if you don't like it, cool, but at least give it a chance because you never know. Maybe we got a diamond in the rough here or something like that.
And then they're giving some people chances too, but they're again. This is on the corporate side of it where they're fucking up, like the new Snow White movie. I'm sure you saw all that controversy, right? Like,
well, that was also on the actor too, because she said some stupid shit.
Yeah, that's what it is though. Like I understand. Like Snow White was written in what, like 1940?
Yeah,
things were different. Times have changed. Some shit is acceptable, some shit isn't. Yeah. But like, if that's the case,
just don't remake it then.
Just make a new fucking story.
Yeah, just make a new character.
Because as much as it's based on different values and shit, a lot of people fucking hold that shit near and dear to them, and they don't want to see it.
And it is also considered one of Disney's best and pre 3D animation films, like as a whole.
If I'm not mistaken, that was like the start of Disney's animated.
Yeah, that was like when they really started to get
the very first movie they did that was like an animated movie like that.
Yeah, they really started to get into it after that. And even then, like, sure, the values might be outdated or whatever the hell you want to say. At the end of the day, that movie is still a classic. Everybody's still going to watch it. Everybody still knows what it is. That just doesn't...
All you're doing by trying to, like, spin it to a political thing is alienating a huge part of the fan base of that...
character.
Of that franchise. Mm-hmm. So if you want to do something different, then... fucking go for it. Do something different.
Make something new. Yeah.
Don't rehash it and make it and spin it on its head and make it something completely different.
That's the biggest thing I've noticed since COVID and streaming platforms. A lot of these streaming platforms are trying to make these characters or spin-offs or spoofs or whatever the hell you want to say that are like the new woke pro this, pro that. And even and I got nothing against, people wanting to be included. We talked about this with Godson on the episode where people, like whole cancel culture thing and everybody wants to be included, which is fine. But at a certain point, even the people who you're trying to target for these shows, they don't even watch it because the show's just not good. The show's just not good.
And they're over it too. Like, listen, I understand, like, they're going for the whole, female empowerment thing with the new Snow White.
Yeah.
Like people are offended by the damsel in distress thing, but that's what Snow White is.
It's just what it is.
The story is.
She was poisoned,
and now we're getting rid of the fucking dwarves, which are like the iconic
which
part
doesn't
of the
make
movie.
sense. Which this is what I saw when I saw that. I was like, okay, so you're all for inclusion and woke whatever. Why not include actual small people, dwarfs, whatever? I don't want to offend anybody with that term, but actually include them. What the?
You could have given an opportunity for seven small person.
Arguably the
actors.
Biggest inclusion role in history, and you said, "Nah, we need a 7-footer. We need Victor Wembanyama in there."
It's offensive to even have them in there. Like you're almost like going against your point completely by not having them.
It's so hypocritical. It's unbelievable.
Like how awesome would that have been for like you get 7 little people together and put them in this fucking big movie?
Honestly, we all know who one of them would have been. I don't know the guy's name, but he was in Endgame. He was in Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
I don't remember his name, but we know he would have been one.
Everyone knows.
Everyone knows he would have been one.
Throw a picture of him.
Oh,
or something,
yeah, I'll throw a picture of something. But we know who we're talking about. But
they got Wee Man in there.
Yeah. Hilarious, dude. Honestly,
Kiwan from Danny Duncan. Kiwan and fucking fuck, what's the other dude's name?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Oh my god, the Australian kid.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
I said kid.
It's not Marcel.
That's bad. Kid.
It's not Marcel, is it?
No,
Marcel.
No.
I don't know why I thought that was
Cameron.
Cam. Yeah. Australian dude. He's funny.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the last movie that had like a full, huge role of like small people was Willy Wonka or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The old like or both of them, either one. And that was what 2007 was the last one they made or something. Or actually no, they just made a recent one with Timothée Chalamet.
Timothy.
I kind of want to see that movie. I'm not gonna lie. I actually do want to see how Timmy did. I gotta see how Timmy Two Shoes cooked up.
Nothing will beat Gene though.
Yeah,
Gene Wilder.
Yeah, Gene Wilder was cold. I mean Johnny Depp did a good ass job. I can't knock Johnny Depp. He did a cold ass job too.
That scene where Gene Wilder's fucking doing that rime. And they're in like the spinning colors and shit, dude. That was like crazy.
For that, and you gotta think that was years ago. That was awesome for that.
Good day, sir.
You got the kid that turns into like the balloon from eating the gum and shit.
Veruca Salt.
Yeah.
The blueberry.
Yeah. I think that like overall media has just like because of streaming, as much as streaming is cool, like we said, we're not knocking streaming in any way. It has made people so keen to like. I need it now. I need this to be fast, or I just need something to be on in the background while I'm doing my work or something like that, And I think that's really affected the writing side and the creative side of these shows and movies or whatever that are coming out because they know it's like, all right, no one's gonna make the commitment to go watch this in a theater. So what the hell is the point of me actually trying to put on a good performance? It's like, all right, well, there's no point in that. I'm just gonna say fuck all and give you what you get.
On that note, though, while we're talking about like just short form content and just the media landscape right now, relating to our field, podcasting.
Yeah,
I think there's a big problem right now.
What's that?
You ever heard of big example? You ever heard of the Fresh and Fit podcast?
Yeah, I have. I'm very familiar.
Dude. Are they straight up acting or are they like believing what they say?
I don't know. I think I think some of it is an act because they do say some crazy shit sometimes. But I will say I think they do believe some of them. I won't say all of them, but some of them.
I feel like
because at a certain point,
I watched that show. I just like I've listened to a couple episodes. It's like a straight up clown fest, dude.
Yeah,
and they got
it's
all
like
these
an ego trip.
They get all these like OnlyFans girl, right? Like who are on the complete opposite end of them, This is their podcast is the perfect example of. I could see why, you're roasting each other. You both have solid points, but you also are both on such extremes that you're all fucking clowns.
Yeah. It's like, literally just like a lunch table roast battle. It's the whole
like it is because you've got
it's so weird.
You've got these girls like make your bang, whatever. But, there's a reason why there's a stigma behind it. There's a reason why there's a stigma to being a sex worker or a stripper, too. Yeah. Granted, a lot of these women who are forced into it, terrible situation. Mm-hmm. But, the girls that go and become a stripper, you're going to make a lot of fucking money, right?
Mm-hmm. But at what cost?
But
is what they're going to
you're sacrificing a major part of your dignity. And I honestly, wholeheartedly believe no matter how much sex worker or a stripper or an OnlyFans girl who does this shit willingly for the money, no matter how much they say, oh, I don't mind, I don't care about the backlash, I don't care what people think.
It's impossible to not care about what people think.
It's a human instinct for you to care about your reputation.
Yeah. Even if
I don't think a single one of them genuinely in their heart feels like, oh yeah, this is great. This is
awesome.
Just based on the simple fact that it's like, okay, if you're in that industry, you're making it very, very difficult to find a long-term partner.
Yeah,
which
like almost impossible. And I saw a clip of, I don't know the girl's name. I just remember seeing this clip from, I think it was Jamari. We always use Jamari as a reference, but yeah, probably Jamari or Moist Critical or something like that. And it was like literally what you're saying. It was a girl who had done OnlyFans or whatever it was for a long time. And she was talking about how, you know, she sees it like everybody just uses her or as like I smashed so-and-so, or like it's never really like, oh, they want to be with them for them. It's like they just do it to like be able to tell their friends like, yo, I'm smashing who X, Y, and Z or whatever it is. Or the most recent one, same chick got clipped and put on like this like video like breakdown thing or something, talking about how she was considering, you know, because it's the same girl who broke her back at TwitchCon. She was talking about how she was considering going back to doing, you know, more videos or whatever it is, and she ended up saying, you know, like came to the conclusion that she's not going to go back to it because all the shit that came with it just wasn't worth it anymore. Like her views had changed on it, and you know, she just didn't feel the same way she did when she was like, you know, whatever, 18, 19 going into it, and like was like, whatever, I'm just trying to make money and get out of it. She's like, now I can make money not only from, you know, having royalties and whatever I did before, but I can do new shit now and create a new brand off of it because that's just not what I want to do anymore. So it's like she had a successful career, whatever you want to say, and now she's sitting here like, I don't know if it was all worth it at the end of the day. Like,
I think most of them have that point, you know.
Yeah. I think that's it's unfortunate for some people because they get forced into it. Some people make the choice at a young age and they don't realize what they're getting into.
Yeah, some of them do it for a year when they're 19 years old, and now you are haunted for the rest of your life because of this. You know, we live in the internet. Nothing goes away.
No matter what you
put on there will go away.
Yeah, no matter what you try.
You could take legal action. You could do whatever you want. It's always going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's unfortunate, and I like that's on that side of it. You know, and like I said, with both sides, it's a clown fest on both sides because I can see part of their side, but they're still wrong for doing it not because it's hurting me or hurting other people, but you're destroying your own life. It's self-destructive behavior to go into something like that. It doesn't end well, and also it's not sustainable forever. People age. You're not going to be doing that shit in your 50s.
Yeah, at a certain point you're gonna be like, this is out of my age range now.
Some people could, but
yeah,
you gotta be lucky. You gotta hit the genetic lottery for that.
Yeah.
And then you're just like subjecting yourself to these creeps, these fucking weirdos.
Yeah, I was speaking of
that one girl the dude
62,000 or whatever.
Yeah, and he stalked her and shit. Like
that's fucking insane.
You're putting yourself in danger.
First of all, yeah, that's one. But I want to talk about the dude. That is a problem. That's a
huge problem.
Okay, so for reference, for people who don't know, recently there was a musician / adult content creator by the name of Ruby Rose, I believe that's who it was.
Yes.
Who made a tweet that she ran into her number one supporter of her OnlyFans page, and they had a screenshot of how much he spent, and it was upwards of $62,000 and some change in 1 month. Not a year, not a few months, 1 month.
You're opening yourself up to shit like that. Not saying it's her fault that he did this, but if she wasn't an OnlyFans girl, it wouldn't be happening. You know, like if I go,
and the dude just looked creepy to begin with. I mean, I don't know.
Like, you know, if I go and fucking walk in an area I'm not supposed to be in and I get shot, yeah, it sucks. It's tragic. The person who did it is a fucking cold-blooded murderer.
Yeah.
But I put myself there.
Yeah.
More extreme, but it's the same sort of thing where, you know, you're putting yourself in a bad spot.
Yeah.
And you don't deserve that to happen.
Nah.
But you got to look out for yourself.
Yeah.
You know? Money's not everything.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I mean, if someone's willing to fork over 62 bands, you might consider it, but
62,000. That's not an insubstantial amount of money.
That is somebody. That is some people's. That is a yearly income in a matter of a month.
Yeah,
that is insane.
From one person,
from one individual. First of all, the guy was like, I don't know. He had. I found this out from Moist Critical's video. Again, another reference to him. He said that the guy was on MTV or TLC
Jamari.
Or whatever. Was it?
Two very good YouTubers.
Yeah.
They both covered it.
Yeah, and they were talking about how...
Props to Jamari and Moist Critical.
Yeah, shout out to those guys. First of all, I'm making a TikTok
so quick
clip
with it too.
I'm making a TikTok clip of us. We need Jamari or Moise Critical on the pod. Those two guys.
That would be
badass. Out of anybody on YouTube that would do it, I'd consider those two guys to be the two that would possibly do it. I'd actually be into it. Anyway, shout out to their videos.
Tag them in the comments.
Yeah, tag them, whatever. Yeah, they covered it, and the guy was basically like on, I think it was MTV or TLC or something like that, for some addiction, some show about like, weird addictions or what, not My Strange Addiction, some other shit. And the guy, it was the same dude apparently, and he was like addicted or whatever, and they had to like, do the whole thing where they get him to rehab and all this shit. Come to find out, this guy that spent $62K is apparently the same dude. So clearly, whatever they did with TLC or MTV or whoever it was, didn't work.
It had to be TLC. They're always doing that shit like that.
Well, whatever they did, it didn't work. So, yeah, 62,000. That is very clearly an addiction.
Yeah, that's
62
beyond
bands is insane. That's
a huge problem.
That is a big amount of money. That's a house payment. That's a very nice luxury car. That is insane to be spending on one thing, anything in a month. That's absurd.
And it's like it's back to the parasocial relationship thing. Like this guy thinks he's like buying a girlfriend, like she's gonna be head over heels for him because for a guy she never met over.
Smiley in a picture.
$62,000.
Yeah, bro.
Bro was a tier
3 sub.
Money doesn't buy love. It might get you, someone looking for a little sugar daddy.
That's about it.
But you're not getting a real connection with them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like sit here and just shit on OnlyFans girls.
No, because
we're not fresh and fit here. We're not an incel podcast.
I understand what they're doing.
Back on the other side of that, yes, I understand some of their points, but those guys are.
Yeah, when a guy's sending 62 bands your way is insane.
Yeah, no, but like the fresh fit guys.
Oh, those
they're. I hope that it's an act.
It has to be. At a
regardless of they do have influence.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. Mm-hmm. Influencer is a term for a reason.
Yeah.
They have influence, and whether they're acting or not, there's people that treat their word as fucking gospel.
Yeah.
Which
is scary.
They're the fucking. Oh, if her body count is over 5, she's ran through. I'll never get with this girl. So you got these guys who are just straight up cucks.
They're almost incels.
They're just incels. No, they are. They're very much incels.
It's
not
crazy.
Almost. They're beyond incel.
Like it's actually crazy. Like
I don't know, dog. That shit's just weird, man. Like that.
How can you be so mad about what someone else is doing? I don't understand. Like it literally has no effect on them. Like what an OnlyFans girl does in her day-to-day business does not affect you the second you walk out of that room. Anything anyone does on the internet, I don't know. This is why, and I'm not saying that cyberbullying or anything like that doesn't exist, but stuff people do on the internet does not exist as soon as you leave that space. Like, I don't know stuff people like when you're offended by like people like, oh, the woke things. Oh, we were talking to who was it? Nick? Was you saying like, oh, or no? It was this was in Discord the other day. I was in with a couple of our friends. I'm not going to say anybody's names because I don't want to put anybody on blast, but we were talking about how, like the whole woke thing with like, people being for like, everyone's rights and all this and that. And the subject of transgender stuff came up and someone goes, oh, they're trying to force it down our throats. I'm like, how? At the end of the day, you don't have to pay attention to what they're telling you. You don't have to indulge in said things. It doesn't have to affect you. And he's like, yeah, it does because they're always putting it in our face. I'm like, how? And he's like,
Well, they're putting this on like recommended pages and
yes,
shit,
but at the end of the day, you can just either scroll, put not interested, or just go on a different app.
Yeah,
it's not that hard to avoid.
It's a very vocal minority that like wants to push all this stuff onto everyone. Mm-hmm. Listen, do whatever you want, but like I'm not going around like
hey, I'm straight,
advertising that I'm straight. Like I'm not sitting here going, hey guys, I am straight. That is my defining characteristic.
I told him because we were talking about this. I was like, listen, at the end of the day, dog. He was like, oh, but it affects me on a daily basis. He's like, it's kind of like racism. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. I'm like, racism actively affects you, whether you are online or not. As much as it might seem, I was like, the only way that. I was saying this is the crazy part because the topic of like he's like, oh, I gotta when I go to work I gotta see the trans bathroom. I was like, dude, I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna sound really crazy, and I'm saying this for the podcast too, again, this is going to sound kind of crazy. The only time those two things even came close to correlation is the separate bathrooms bullshit. That's it. They are not anywhere near the same thing besides that.
Just don't go in the bathroom.
Just walk to the men's. Walk to the women's if you so happen. Like,
or use that fucking bathroom because it's probably going to be cleaner because there's going to be less people going in there.
Literally, I told him, I was like, listen, dog, that bathroom literally had a family bathroom sign on it last year. So just walk in there anyway. Nothing's going to change. Like, who cares? It's not that deep. He's like, oh, it affects me. I'm like, you pissing in a bathroom that was a family bathroom a year ago affects you? No. Like, come on. It's not that deep. Like, I think when it comes to like how I've realized this over a little bit of time recently, a lot of the issues with people being upset by the whole woke stuff, it all comes down to like almost projecting it on yourself. Like, you don't have to pay attention to it. Sure, they put it out there. Cool. Scroll.
The more you comment on it, the more you push it in the app.
Exactly. So. You don't have to interact with it. If you just keep going about your day, don't worry about it, don't stress it, it's not going to be there. And it's not to say that it's a bad thing that people want to be accepted for shit. Cool. By all means, do you. I don't care. It doesn't affect me at the end of the day. It's just I don't have a need to know it every 5 seconds. Like I don't care about, what is going on. I mean, I'm not saying this is just an example. I don't care about what's going on with you if so and so you're doing so and so. I don't care who you're smashing.
I don't care who you're sleeping with. I don't care what's in your fucking pants. You don't need to tell everyone.
I don't care. Like, sure, I'm happy for you. You're happy. Cool. That's fine. I'm not gonna, The hell? What was that? It's just not everybody needs to know. Not everybody like the thing I talked about to somebody before is like, we're going to get to a road with this whole woke and acceptance thing where there's going to be a road that crosses between two groups of people that want to be accepted by everything where they can't agree on it. And they're going to realize, shit, what do we do now? And it's going to radicalize everything because you're going to have to go back and undo all the shit you did because you're going to realize, damn, this actually doesn't work. You can't, because life cannot progress unless there's differences in people and differences in opinions. Not everyone can agree. Not everything can be accepted all the time.
And there's some things it's like, cool, that's your journey, right? But that's your journey. That's not mine.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be everyone else's.
You do what you got to do. It doesn't have to be, I don't have to be part of it.
Yeah, what you do at the end of the day doesn't affect me. What I do at the end of the day doesn't have to affect you. It's just that simple. It's not a bad thing. It's not to say we don't, want you to be around. Just do you in your own space. Don't worry about what other people are doing, and it'll be so much easier. Life will work so much. Watch how much easier everything gets when you don't care.
We both go to work every day, right? Like, we don't fucking go around expecting people to be like, you need to give me support on doing this, and this is my career, and you need to,
because I'm an electrician, you have to be one.
Let me know how well I'm doing. Like, I'm on my journey. I'm on my path.
Exactly.
If you want to be a part of it,
cool.
Like, you're a part of my journey. I'm a part of your journey. Mm-hmm. We're best friends. We care about each other. We choose to be a part of each other's journey.
Yeah.
My family chooses to be a part of my journey.
They more or less have to be in a way, unless you do some shit. Then it's a choice.
Well, especially with friends, like my friends choose to be a part of my journey. I choose to be a part of theirs. Mm-hmm. At any point in time,
I can choose not to be.
I can say, do what you gotta do. I don't care.
Right. Doesn't mean I hate you. Doesn't mean I care about you any less. I'm just letting you know, do what you gotta do. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. The end.
It's the same thing.
That's it. It's the same thing.
Same exact
Exactly. And once people figure that out, life for everyone, whether you're straight, gay, bi, whatever, anything under the sun, everyone will be so much more peaceful if that's
do it for you. Don't do it for validation of others.
Nobody cares. Really, realistically speaking, unless you know those people personally, nobody cares.
The most fulfilling thing you can do is do something for yourself and do it because it's what you want to do. It's the most fulfilling thing you could possibly do in your life.
I heard
if you're doing everything for attention of others and approval of others, here's the thing, right? Now you're putting your happiness and your sanctity in control of other people.
Yeah.
And you're letting what they have to say dictate your entire mindset. It's going to trickle down to every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
Why would you want to hand over control of your life, especially now?
Your mental health.
Especially now, just the whole landscape of media and careers, and where we arguably have less control over our personal lives than ever before.
Yeah. The little bit that
just
you do
because
have.
There's so many more eyes on you and shit. Like, why would you want to sit there and forfeit your right to dictate your own mindset and hand it over to other people where they can flip-flop on you. They can choose what they want to do to contribute to your journey instead of taking it in your own hands and be like, you know what, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this because this is what makes me happy. I'm not doing this for you.
Yeah, I remember hearing somebody say it. I can't remember exactly who said it. It was an interview I saw a long time ago. And they were like, listen, if you go into doing anything with the mindset that, hey, this is something I enjoy, I have a way to put it out there so that, I can express myself, whether it's music, podcasts, people who go into acting or whatever art form, whatever thing it takes, whatever form of physical expression or thing that it forms into. If you go into it and just do it because you enjoy it, chances are there is a much larger than you anticipated group of people that will enjoy the exact same thing just because you're doing it out of the passion for doing it instead of like, oh, those people are doing it and they think it's cool, so I should do it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Sure, there's things where you could be like, maybe someone influenced you to like try something out. That's fine. I'm not saying that that's wrong in any way. If you saw somebody doing something, you thought that, oh, that looks pretty cool, maybe I should try that out. Maybe I'll be into it. Cool, by all means, nothing wrong with that. But to do something simply because it's a trend or other people are doing it and you want to fit in, and then you're just going to be in a never-ending cycle of trying to figure out who you are.
Yeah, it's the whole reason we do this.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong, we'd both be fucking lying through our teeth if we didn't say we wanted 1 million views on this video, or if we're saying we didn't want that.
Well, no, that's that's
obviously like we want to have a platform,
Yeah,
like,
but we're not doing it because
we're doing it out of It would be cool to be able to do this as a job financially. If this at some point could sustain us, that'd be a fucking dream come true.
But the goal is to just share insightful things versus the goal is to, I want to be popular. I don't care I could care less if a lot of people know who I am versus if a lot of people know the shit that I'm talking about and what I'm trying to put out there.
We don't want to sit here and fucking fresh and fit incel bait you or fucking start scandals to get us, popping off.
No, I want to give a genuine thing to someone.
Yeah, we like there's a lack of just like, there's a lot of disingenuous people in this space, and we're I think I could speak for the both of us when I say we know we're in a very diluted space. We know there's a ton of podcasts. There's thousands upon thousands of different podcasts.
Yeah.
We're not in here to
be another podcast.
We're not trying to be Joe Rogan. We're not trying to be fucking impulsive. We're not trying to be any of those. So
granted, it would be nice to be on that level. That we're not going to deny that.
That level of influence, that would be great. But
the message is different.
And when I say level of influence, I don't mean we're not trying to like be power hungry and sway people's opinions.
No.
I think the whole point of this is to show what we're thinking, because the difference between us and a lot of these big podcasts is we have that homegrown upbringing. We have that we're blue collar workers.
Yeah.
We've grown up and went to regular school, regular public school, live regular
went through the general experience of life.
We have a view where we're not, we didn't fucking come from nothing.
No.
We're on a level that's very similar to most
people,
podcast consumers and most people on social media in general. And I think to just try and give a little bit of relatability to these people, and granted,
when you get bigger, that can change. But the thing that I've said before in the past, and I'm sure that you'll agree with this, is that the way we go about handling the pod and how we want to talk about things is not, oh, here's my opinion, that's all, say all be all or end all be all, whatever it is. It's no, here's my, here's this issue that took place in social media, the world, the news, whatever it is. Here's my take on it. Video uploads, comments come in. Maybe next episode, oh, hey, I saw so-and-so said this side of the story. That's actually a good point. Let's expand on that point, because that's different than what we were originally thinking. And that can also be another way of thinking about something. It's more or less we're trying to make it so that we can feed this off of what's coming from people who are actually involved in this, or people who aren't, oh, I have a Ferrari and da 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 da. Like, we want to be more relatable than most people would be, regardless of how big we are.
And I feel like we've been getting better at trying to make a point of, looking at all sides of every story. Yeah. And I'm sure I've said some things like, I called Fresh and Fit fucking clowns earlier, but like when it's something egregious like that, but because I called, like, perfect example, this fucking episode, we went on both sides of that.
Yeah.
Like, it's two extremes. Mm-hmm. We looked at both sides, and at the end of the day, we happen to just sit in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you to go fucking comment on their podcast and call them idiots. It's more just like about seeing both sides of it, and just trying to like rationally go through and think about these kinds of things. This isn't like, I wouldn't go on here and make a fucking call for action unless, like I said, it's an egregious thing that's just evil. Mm-hmm. But it's more of just you think about it a little bit. Think about it. Do your own research. Form your own opinion. That's the biggest thing that you could do in media right now is research on your own. Don't read the first article that comes up and that's it. Don't watch the first video. Watch the video.
Watch another one.
Watch a video essay and then watch the response to that video essay.
Yeah.
And just try and, as hard as it is, keep the emotion out of it, because really most of these issues, especially all this drama, this streamers and shit, Sneeko and Neon and shit,
these dudes,
it's not worth getting that.
Speaking of that, I want to get into something on that note, because that's actually that's the next thing I have written here is the new era of YouTube is actually like disastrous. I don't know if you've seen. Obviously, you mentioned Neon is one of them, but what's the other name? What is his name? Jack Doherty or whatever his name is. Absolute, just
horrible behavior.
Horrible people. How the thing that pisses me off, I wouldn't mind if they did what they did, like as pranks, and like how Vitaly would just go out there by himself. Obviously, some of those were set up. Some of those were or like the Oct TV, the old YouTube prank pages, where it was like they were just going out and with people, and whatever came with it. If a dude swung on him or whatever, they took it and rolled with the punches. Quite literally. What these kids are doing is terrorizing, or not, I wouldn't say terrorizing, but I guess instigating fights, instigating random people. Like I saw one of the Jack Doherty kid walking up and just shouldering some dude, like basically hip checking him. And then he goes, "Oh," to the guy, and the guy turns around and like goes like, square him up. And then as he goes, "Security," and the guy runs in and like stands in front of him, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna fight me? You're gonna fight me?" Like, yeah, I'm gonna fight. You just try to throw a shoulder to me. I don't even know you. So
it's just people are going to these extremes for a little bit of attention, and it's like another example of that. Neon went into the Target and exploded the sodas on the ground, made a huge mess. Basically, was being a massive degenerate, right?
Yeah.
Like, Neon's very young. What is he like?
He's early 20s, I think. At the most.
Is he even that old yet?
Yeah, I'll check right now. I think he's in his early 20s. I think he might be like 20, 21, like Kai. He might be around the same age. Let me see. I'll check right now.
Listen, I have no idea what kind of person Neon is.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if he's a complete fucking piece of shit human being. But what he's projecting right now is for what he's doing just for content. Like, that's going to follow him, And I don't want to sit here and fucking, when someone does something stupid like that, I'm going to say it's fucking stupid. It's a bad act.
Yeah.
But
he's 19. He's about to be 20.
What we should, like, really try and work on is, like, how can you be better, How old is he?
19. He's going to be 20 next year.
Yeah. Like, you're young. Like, learn from this,
Yeah.
Instead of just, like, you're a complete piece of shit. Obviously, there's extremes. Like, if you go and kill someone, yeah, you're fucking, you're beyond redeemable. Yeah. But just think about it and just be better.
Yeah. Joey Swoll, you have to be better.
Don't
shout out Joey Swoll.
We don't have to cancel everyone over everything. Like, we don't have to just completely like, oh, you're a lost cause, like you're a piece of shit, fuck you, you're terrible. Like, call someone out when they do something wrong, But I think there's a lack of.
I think it's the issue is the people they surround themselves with, though.
Yeah,
they got a lot of yes men.
Definitely a big
like,
part of
that's
it,
funny, bro. Yeah, you should keep doing that. Like,
there's a lack of. No one wants to tell them be better. You know, they just want to. It's easy to go on there and say you're a piece of shit. You're an idiot. Mm-hmm. There's not enough people saying, "Come on, man."
Yeah, you're like better. A lot of the other streamers don't really confront them ever.
Be the bigger person.
Yeah, like I think the big one when we saw over the past few years of seeing people stream, like Speed originally when he was like first going out in public and stuff like that, you could tell he still does here and there. It's not as extreme as it used to be, but he would mess with people. But the people around him would be like, yo, dial it back here and there. Like, he always used to have Aiden Ross around him, and he early on Aiden kind of would put a thing in his head like, hey, like, yo, chill, like, like sometimes you're doing a little too much. Now he's got Kai and all those guys, so like, like they're a little bit older than he is. Kai's 22 now, and he's kind of on the same thing. He's like, hey, like, I understand it's your content, but sometimes we gotta, just a little bit dial it back because sometimes you don't know how people are gonna react. Yeah, exactly.
Like, what needs to happen is a lot of those big streamers feed on the why you're an idiot. Why you did this shit? You're a piece of shit. Yeah. And the more you put it into their head that they're a piece of shit,
it fuels their fire.
Degenerate, they're gonna be more of a piece of shit.
Yeah, which is weird, a very weird way to think of it, but it's true.
Yeah, and again, call them out when they do something bad, but also, just like you gotta put it in their head that they're bigger than that. That they can do better, genuinely better things for the world, and just be a better person, and just don't feed into the bullshit. Like, try and get them to be a better person by putting it in their head that they're capable of doing that. If you put it in their head that you're incapable of becoming a good person and you're destined to this life of
delinquency,
constant degeneracy, and doing this shit, they're just gonna keep fucking doing it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know where this shift came from or when it started, but yeah, I agree. I don't think
when you take surface level jabs at someone, that's what you're doing. It's surface level. You're just
the accountability doesn't come out of it.
I think no one's going at the root of the problem. Why are you doing this? Genuinely, other than the clout. Like, why are you what inside you is making you feel like this is what you need to do to get ahead?
Yeah.
Because there's better ways to do it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And getting ahead is not just having more money. There's
more people following you. There's a lot
much more to life, and there's much more to get ahead in. Financially, obviously, you have a lot of money, you're going to have an easier life. You're going to be better off. That's a fact.
That doesn't make you a better person, though.
Yeah, but if at some point you're gonna have the money and you're gonna become accustomed to that, and there's gonna get a point where it's not gonna do it for you anymore.
Yeah, I think that's a solid note to end on. I don't have anything else. I mean, we've burned through some pretty good topics here. It's been a solid episode. I know we're gonna try to get this one up. This one's going up for sure. I'm not gonna deny that, but yeah, we're gonna try to get another episode recorded within the next week or so that we have a Christmas one out for you guys. We'll try to do something based around that. We usually try to do that for like the holidays and stuff like that. We did one I think last year and the year before. So yeah, we'll try to do that. Again, if you're new, thank you for being here. If you're returning, again, it's been a little while, but welcome back and thank you for being here with us again. Definitely share this. If you see the clips on TikTok, share those. If you want, we have the clip feature. Clip the channel, make some whatever YouTube shorts and spread those around as well. Make your own TikTok edits, do little slow-mo shits. I don't know. Bro thinks he's in an edit type of deal. But yeah, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Go watch the other episodes if you've missed them or if you haven't seen them before. And yeah.
We're going to hit you with some tunes. You want to throw that in there?
Yeah, I'll put it on in post. It'll be in here.
We're going to hit you with some tunes.
Actually, I just messaged him when we were on here. It's going on the Frequencies channel. That'll be the first episode. So that's another thing that's coming. We'll put something about that in the description.
We've got a young Milwaukee-based artist. Yeah. His name is, or he goes by Tone. That's T0NE ! All caps. Check out his Spotify. Check out his, he's got TikTok.
Yeah, it'll all be in the description as well.
SoundCloud.
More stuff we'll add.
Roll that here for the end of the episode.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys posted on everything. Again, subscribe. We're gonna roll that song here for you guys, and yeah, we'll see you in the next episode.
Stay healthy, everyone.
Peace.
Trying to study, I'm like, no, I just can't reach my goals. I just smoke on my